Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Csec. I'll be going through this May/June 2019 Ecology paper 1. Nonetheless, so guys, make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't do so. And make sure you guys do turn on the post notification so when I post future posts you also could get notified. Alright, and please share the video and feel free to leave any comments in the comment section. Alright, here number 1, it says, which of the following features is used to classify a group of organisms as class Insecta? So a class Insecta, the group that would classify group organisms as class Insecta would be segments. Alright, so it would not be the size, because in the size would be a different group of organisms, and it would not be the shape. Is not classified as organism, neither the color. It would be the segments. Alright, I think that should explain very clearly. Another set, so number 2, which of the following options correctly define a niche and an habitat? So a niche would be the role of an organism that's placed in the habitats in which it lives. So it has to do with the roles that it plays and also in the habitats in which it lives. And a habitat would be the place where the organism lives. Alright, so there's two different between niche and habitats. Alright, number 3, here it says, which of the following relationships may present harm to one of its organisms involved? So here they are mentioning about relationships. Alright, so let me outline it. So it'd be between the relationship that presents harm to one of the organisms. So here we would have parasitism. Alright, so parasitism would be an harm to an organism that involves, and we had predation. Alright, so the answer would be C. That would be 2 and 3. Moving along. Number 4, it says, which of the following organisms are most important in biodegradation? So biodegradation would be where, for example, if we have like garbage, for example, and those are breaking down by, biodegradation would be in the breaking down of any it could even be bacteria, any substance. So that would be the type of bacteria. It would not be omnivores, it would not be vultures, and it would not be earthworm. So the answer would be A, bacteria. Alright, number 5, moving on. So here it says item 5 refers to the following food chain sorry, which shows the feeding relationship in a freshwater lake. So where we have a freshwater lake, we normally had algae. So that's algae. We have a larvae, we have an eel, and we have a pike. Alright, sorry. So they are asking, which of the following organisms is the secondary consumer in the food chain shows above? So here we'll see it's showing has eel, and the reason why a eel would be eel would be basically like the fish. Alright, so this would be the food chains of where they are showing the feeding relationship in a freshwater lake. Alright, so this is how the food chain go now. So they are asking the organisms which is the secondary consumer. Alright, so secondary consumer, eel, we have the pike, we have the larvae, and we have the algae. So here in the second consumer, with the eel would be the second consumer, because we couldn't have not have the algae here. Alright, the algae would be the first. Alright, good. So moving on. Number 6 here. It says, so here above we had a diagram showing an ecosystem. Alright, so this is where the energy flow through an ecosystem. So we're gonna just go ahead and summarize what's going on here. So number 6 says the energy flow is not 100% efficient, because energy is. Alright, so let me look on this. So we have the sun here, so the energy coming away from the sun. Alright, we had the producer mechanicking up the heat, and we have from the heat going to the consumer, making the heat going down to the decomposer, where we have heat going up to the inorganic nutrients pool. So we have different energy flow here on the ecosystem. So they are asking which is not. So the energy flow is not 100% because lost through respiration and excretion. Where does the excretion come from? The excretion would be here. Alright? The decomposer. Alright? Respiration. Respiration would be the inorganic nutrients. Alright? Going up. So it would lost through respiration and excretion. Alright? Moving along, number 7 here. Which of the following statements about recycling manufactured materials are true? So we're going to read the questions and see which one best follows. So here, the selection answers here, there says less energy is used in the manufacturing of new products by using the raw material from recycling products. Alright? 2. Some manufacturing products can be recycled. Most unlikely. Sounds good. Recycling of some non-biodegradable materials prevent landfill sites from filling up too quickly and for a long time. More like we would have choose all of them, because here we'd have less energy is used in manufacture, is using the new product by using a raw material from recycled product. So that would be good, and so the answer would be D. We'll choose all of these answers. Alright, number 8, it says replanting trees on a bare hillside is an example of. So if we are replanting trees on hillside, that would be reforestation and restoration. And the reason why it would be reforestation and restoration is because we are planting. Once we replanting, that would be restoration. Alright? And here on the hillside, we had reforestation, meaning having, a lot of trees, bringing back the life. For example, in the forest. Like cutting down trees would have, even if we do cut down trees, then we would have to go ahead and replant trees. So that would be P. Reforestation and restoration. Alright, number 9 here, it says human activities would have least imminent impact on. So it would be had least imminent on the impact of the formation of fossil fuel. Alright, and the reason for such mean would here, where we have human activities, that would be least. They ask about least, so we'd have to look for a keyword. If they are mentioning about most, then we could use this saying that it says overpopulation, but it would not impact. Alright, so it says least. So it would be the formation of fossil fuel, because that would least imminent the impact on human activities. Alright, good. Number 10 here, it says the greatest threat to survival of coral reef is. So looking for the key term again, so we're looking for greatest. Alright, greatest threat. So what is the greatest threat here? Increase dissolved oxygen level? No. Increase ocean temperature? Decrease greenhouse gases? Decrease nitrogen levels? No. And if we do increase ocean temperature, what will happen? That will affect the coral reef. So that this would be a greatest threat of the survival of the reef. Alright, so increase the ocean temperature, that would cause more likely more impacts on the coral reef itself, and that would having a lot of problem with the coral reef. All right, good. Number 11 here, we says, refers to a graph. We have a population graph here, right? Which is the growth. So we have growth, the number of organisms, we have the time. All right. So here, number 11 says phase 4 of the graph, population growth is most likely due to. So let me see what's going on here. All right. So we have the time. All right. So here, 1, we have the number of organisms moving up. And so here we'd have a competition from invade species. And the reason being, we'd have a competition. If we could look on the graph here, right, this would be the number of organisms. Here would be the time. So here we're looking on the number of organisms. So if we're looking for the number, we have 1 here, right? 1. Moving up the radar in the time frame, 2, 3, 4, going down. So we'll have most likely some competition here, because we are not having, for example, let me just carry it away from here, going down. This would be more likely a slightly increased of the population growth, but we are not having a necessary increase here, we are having a competition. If you could look on the graph slightly, we could see the time frame, where you see the strokes here would be the time. Alright, so this is showing the two plot between time and the number of organisms. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, time. So we having a big competition here. So this would be a competition from invasive species. Alright, any other question? Please feel free to leave it in the comment section. Number 12, it says when compared to a cheek cell, a muscle cell contain more. So a muscle cell would contain more mitochondria. Alright, so that's mitochondria. Alright, so here where we had muscle cells, they would have basically contain more mitochondria. Alright, so mitochondria would be where we have some energy. Alright, it's more like a powerhouse, I would mention. Alright, good. Moving on. 13. Which of the label structure is responsible for controlling cellular activities? Alright, so here, to look on the diagram here. Good. So they are responsible for cellular activities. Vacuole, not vacuole, not vacuole, not nucleus. Oh, this would be item 4 here. Alright, this would be item 4. Number 14, sorry. So which of the following comparison of cell wall and cell membrane is incorrect? So the keyword would be incorrect here. Alright, they are not asking which one is correct, which one is incorrect. So here, a cell wall found in both plants and animal cell. Not necessarily. Found in animal cell only. Remember, we had a cell membrane, right? Cell membrane doesn't found in animal cell only. Remember, cell wall, we have vacuoles, we have cell membrane, and the rest. Here they are talking about the cell wall, found in both plant and animal cell. Nah, not necessarily. Remember, one has shape, one doesn't. We have plant cells, we have animal cells. Alright, so the answer would be A for this one. Moving along. Number 15, it says refers to the following apparatus setup shown below. So here we have an apparatus. The apparatus would shows a potato with a distilled water and a petri dish. Alright, so here we're going to look at the diagram and answer the question. So number 15, what can be done to cause the level of solution in the petri dish to rise after 20 minutes? Alright, so a petri dish here, and we have, this would be the water. Here, this would be a potato. So this is a potato, right? And this would be the distilled water. Good. So what could happen for the petri dish here to rise after 20 minutes? So if we had 5 grams of sugar in the distilled water in both and the petri dish and potato, that doesn't make sense. Here, add 5 grams of sugar to the distilled water in the petri dish only. Alright, add 5 grams of salt to distilled water in the potato only, or add 5 grams of sugar to either the petri dish or potato. That doesn't make sense. If we add the 5 grams of salt to the distilled water in the petri dish, the salt will give the solution where we would have the petri dish to rise after 20 minutes. So the answer would be B here. Alright, because the salt would need time to dissolve, and once we had the salt dissolved in the petri dish, then we would have the motion. Alright, good, moving along. Alright, number 16 here, it says refers to the following table, which has the following results of food tests performed on 3 food samples perhaps. So we have X, we have Y, and we have Z. So here X would be the violet color with sodium hydroxide and copper sulfate. Y would have the blue black precipitate with iodine, right? We have Z, which is orange. We have precipitate when heated, so when heated, good, go ahead. Alright, so when heated with Benedict's reagent by hydrolysis. Alright, so here we are seeing where we have sample Y and Z respectively. Most likely to contain, I know most likely to contain here protein, starch, and non-reducing sugar. So let me explain what's going on in D. So with the protein now on X, where we see the hydroxide copper sulfate would have the protein showing, most likely to contain the protein. In Y would likely to have the starch. The starch will give the color. Alright, so once they're showing that black color, blue/black would participate with iodine, then that would show in starch. And once we have the orange precipitate with heated, here we'd have non-reducing sugar. Alright, good, moving along. And this is going to be part 1. We're going to make part 2. Item 17 refers to the following diagram, which shows an xylem vessel. Alright, so xylem vessel, we have the space here, we have the cell wall containing the lignin, and we have the gap 2 cells meet. So here there are questions we are asking here is the major features that is responsible for the region structures of the xylem vessel is, and it would be the lignin. Alright, good. Number 18, moving along, here we have the diagram showing a metabolic process carried out in plants. So we have water, we have light, we have carbon dioxide, we have plant cell, we have chlorophyll in chloroplast alongside with oxygen, and then we have food. So they are asking the food is produced so the food that is produced here would have the basically would be the glucose. Alright, so we get the glucose, not protein, not amino acid. Alright, number 19 here is we have another diagram showing the rate of photosynthesis here, light intensity. So they are asking which of the following best accounts for the shape of the graph. So here we have the shape of the graph, which is 0.3% of CO2, and we know what is CO2. Alright, let's go. So here the answer would be C, and we're going to explain why it's C. So as the light intensity increased, there is an increase in photosynthesis until there is no further increase in the rate due to some other limiting factors. And that's true. Once we had photosynthesis and there's, as they mentioned, light intensity increased, Then in photosynthesis, there will no further increase in the rate due to other limiting factors. Alright, so here we have the light intensity, and then we have the rate of the photosynthesis. So if you look, we'll have the, right here we have the intensity, right, increase. So this is light intensity. So light intensity increase until there's no further increase due to limiting factors. So what is the limiting factors here? Would be CO2. Alright, good. We're gonna end at number 20 here. It says a 50-year-old male is advised by his doctor to pay special attention to the amount of salt in his diet. He probably has a high chance of developing. So here the keyword would be salt. Alright, so here we see salt, and another way would be special attention and to his diet, in his diet. So here we'd have probably most likely would be an hypotension. Obesity, no, obesity would be, you know, taking in too much carbs, or taking in too much sugar. Sugar would be the diabetes. Cardiovascular disease could also be in too much sugar as well, and it could also mention with too much salt, but it has with the hypertension. Taking too many salt in your diet leading to hypertension, alright, known as high blood pressure. Anyways, this is part 1 of biology, paper 1 2019, May/June. Make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe if you reach to the end of the video. Make sure you guys type kudos in the comment section. And thank you for making it with Csec, now making your grade 1 become a reality. Thank you for watching.